Hey everybody, getting started on this new project today. As you can see, I've already dove into Kal Draigo and Mordrak. And so I just wanted to start with, my foundation. And in this case, since they're both sporting silver armor, as per usual for Grey Knights, I've already airbrushed a base coat of a silver base metallic. Actually, not exactly silver. So what I did is I mixed a combination of bolt gunmetal and Necron Abyss and made almost like a gunmetal. I wasn't entirely sure where I was going to end up when I did this, but I'm really happy. This is essentially my the shadow areas of the silver will all remain this sort of blue steel. I'm not even sure you're going to get the full effect in this video, but I can still see it through the screen here, so I'll keep my fingers crossed that the color shift isn't too bad and that you can actually see that this isn't just bolt gunmetal, that there's actually a pronounced blue cast to it. And I'm really happy with it. And it's a little bit darker than bolt gunmetal would normally be. And from here I'm going to bring it up to be more silver. But in both cases these guys are going to look a little battle weary. So, but that's going to be a little bit farther down the line. So anyway, there you go with the starting, the basics, the foundation. And I'm going to get to work on the next step. So I'll see you in a bit. So after the base coat, then I'm just going back and dry brushing the silver areas with mithril silver, which is of course the brightest of the Citadel silvers. I've always liked mithril silver because it's got a really nice fine metallic flake to it, which means that you're going to always get nice clean result with a dry brush if you do it right. In this case I'm trying to be careful to slowly build up the silver. I don't want to obscure all of the blue, but I want to leave it there as a sort of a subtle hint of blue in the back. So again, just trying to give this, make it subtle. My plan is not to do both of these figures at once. I was only going to work on Draigo today, and then I realized that, well, I had the airbrush out, and there's nothing nothing more time consuming than cleaning the airbrush, and, well, frankly, if I could just clean it once instead of twice, that's what I would like to do. So I figured I'd go ahead and base coat both of these guys. And again, as long as I'm doing the dry brushing, I might as well do them both, right? And then once that was done, then I would just focus the rest of my attentions on Draigo. So that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I'm doing. So at this point, I think we can call that done for now. What do you think? Okay, so moving on with Draigo here. At this point I have added in all the gold, or at least I hope I've added in all the gold. It looks like I did. But you know how it is. Every now and then you go back and go, oh, I missed that spot. I also base coated his, is that a tabard? I guess that's what that is. And then I've base coated the various parchment and scrolls, and he's just literally covered with these things. And so in terms of colors, I've got Beast Hide as my dark color on the tabard. I have Jack Bone, very similar to Bleached Bone for Citadel colors. These are all P3 colors for no particular reason. I mean, I do like those paints, and those are just the ones at this point I kind of grab first, but in a lot of cases. Anyway, so the gold is P3 Brass Balls. I always like saying that. Brass balls. And oh, and I also did some black, you know, some in the hoses and the joints. And so now I think I'm going to go in and do the base colors on all of the Purity Seal, the red parts. You know what they are. Oh, I missed one. Look at that. Well, I'm going to go do that now too. So I'll be back. So in order to do the base coat for the Purity Seals and other seal related redness, I mix up a batch of dark red using a little blood red and snot green. I actually did a video, if you can believe it, about making dark red using red and green. It's, as you can imagine, not a long video. Anyway, and that I have applied that to all of the seals. Yeah, so there you are. So the next stage after this is going to be just to highlight that with straight blood red, and I'm just going to touch it in some of the upper areas, and it makes a really nice highlight. I actually don't know that I'll do that immediately, but when I do get around to it, that's what I'm going to do. So there we are. I'll be back. So I decided to dive into the tabard, and as you can see, I've gone with white-ish. Actually, this is an interesting time to mention that one of the things I like about the P3 paints is that they tend to have these nice little triads, right? So in this case, on this tabard, I used Hammerfall Khaki as the shadow color, then Menoth White Base, and Menoth White Highlight. And when you put the three of those together, you get a really nice, smooth off-white, which is what I was going for there. And the results are pretty nice. The P3 line has a number of those triads, and it can kind of speed up the process. A lot of the things that take me the most time are thinking about what I'm going to do, as opposed to just doing it. You know, the job itself can be pretty straightforward, but trying to decide how to approach that job, well, that can sometimes take 4 or 5 times as long. So in this case, that part is done. And what am I doing next? I don't know. Again, the decision-making process can sometimes be the hard part, and I kind of just sort of take it as it comes, and I'll find a spot and go, oh, I guess I'll do that. And I think now I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little wash on all the parchment pieces, and I'm going to use one of my favorite Games Workshop washes, which is Griffin Sepia. So I'm going to go do that. I will talk to you later. Okay, at this point I have washed all the parchmenty things. I did a little more silver highlight. You might see that popping a little bit more. What else did I do? Laid down a brown base coat on the base. just little details here and there, you know, starting to move farther and farther down into the little bits and pieces that need to get painted as things go on. Oh, the keys, the little key ring area and the keys, those got painted. Yeah. Oh, and there's some little red bits. There's a little bit in there. And on the storm bolter, that's a custom mix color. Oh, I also highlighted, at least I did one highlight on the purity seals and other seal related bits. But I think I'm going to go back to those. I'm not quite happy with the highlights yet. But it's really coming along. I'm actually kind of surprised at how quickly this is getting painted. Actually really happy with how quickly this is getting painted. And I think this is going to be well on towards done today, which is great. But I think this may be my last video for now, because once I start getting into the little bits and pieces, I kind of have to just keep jumping all over and doing it all. And I don't have a lot of time to think, to stop and show progress. So if this is the last one, sorry about that. But you know how it is. But I will show you, before I finish up for the day, I'll show you where I am. So that's it for now, and I'll talk to you later. So here we are. It's not done, but it's really close. As you can see, I've done some work on the base. A little demon head with the guts coming out. Started working on the sword. That's not done. So that's one of the things I have left to do. But I got all of the text on the scrolls. I'm going to put something there, probably using a decal. And I've dirtied up the tabard because I'm trying to make this guy look weather-worn, weather-beaten. And, having been in the midst of fighting for a while, so I actually went in and used some Devlin wash, Devlin mud wash, mostly around the feet, but in some of the darker recesses, and that was really to sort of give it a more dirty brown tone, so the silver didn't look quite so pristine. Yeah, so there we are. I like where it is. I think this is not a bad amount of work for one sitting. And oh yeah, he got his eyes too. I don't know if you can see those. But I think I'm going to be done for now. I think it's time for a break. I've been sitting here watching Dexter. I don't know if you can hear the music in the background, but I watched one full disc full of episodes as I painted. And really, I don't watch that so much. And one of the nice things about that show is that it's you listen to the narration more than anything. Dexter's narration is pretty fun, and you don't have to watch it. So there it is for now. I think next time you see this, it'll be done. I'll have photographs and such, and I'll get on to the next piece. So there you go. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.